War. War never changes. Hi, my name's Drew and welcome to another review video on Flying Wiener. Now if that intro sounded really weird to you and like, what the hell is he on about? Well, you're obviously not familiar with the Fallout games that the TV show that we're talking about today is based on, because that is famously the intro of the Fallout games. War never changes. And Amazon Prime Video released this series all in one, so they've opted to not do a weekly release or something like that and just dropped all of it. I think it's a bit of a shame because while just as a viewer I do like just watching everything in one sitting basically, at the same time with a show as good as this you feel that if everything's out at once it just gets sort of lost in communication when it comes to, you know, the wider public and social stuff, etc. Because if you do release something, just an episode a week, then you get more people talking about, you know, thinking about or discussing what they think might happen in the future, etc. So I do think that even the streaming services, while Netflix is known, you know, for the binge model that they have, I do think that they should all, with their, at least their good shows, where they're like, okay, there's probably going to be some buzz around this, they should opt for releasing episodes weekly, just to get people talking, you know, the conversation going. It's also, as a viewer, while it might be painful to wait a week for an episode, at the same time, once it is done, at least the wait till the new ones isn't that quite long anymore. But yeah, there are various reasons for that. But yes, so this dropped on Amazon Prime Video. Really excited to talk about it. I'm not the biggest Fallout fan ever. If you're, like I say, not familiar, it's a series of games. I myself only played Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, for those of you who are interested in what I have played. Thoroughly enjoyed both of them. It's a bit hard to summarize them, but I'll still try. Basically, you're in a post-apocalyptic world. Literally, there's been nuclear war, and people have been either locked away in massive technologically advanced vaults underneath the earth waiting until it's safe enough to come out, or other people who over this span of time, which depending on which Fallout game you're talking about, you know, either just like 50, 100 or maybe 200 years after the war are re-emerging, right? Just to immediately place this show, I think it's actually 200 years after the nuclear war. And the whole game series is about you, well, just exploring this world and how you traverse both, well, the terrain itself, how you solve problems and how you communicate with people, because it's an RPG, so you can go in all sorts of directions. You could just be really brutal and just kill anyone who's in your way. You can try to sort of sneakily, you know, get your way out of certain situations. You can try to be just a very convincing character. So it's a really fun game to play when you're thinking about approaching problems from different angles, yeah? And just the whole lore of it is cool with all the people that are stayed on the surface all this time, the people who are in vaults, locked away, kept safe, you know, not having a clue what's going on with the outside world, and the really quirky humour of it all. Yeah, so that is my best attempt at a really short summary. I think it's really worth your time. They're very different entries. There's even ones very old school from the, I think, late 90s, early 2000s, 1 and 2. Yeah, so depending on what kind of games you like to play, you can have various experiences with this series. But let's talk about the TV show. So as I said, it's set roughly 200 years after the nuclear war happened. We are focused on one of these vaults, so one of these massive technological wonders that have been put underneath the ground, where a large group of people are surviving and waiting, abiding their time until the vault opens and they are let out again to repopulate the earth. We are focused on a woman called Lucy. She's played by Ella Purnell. And the basic gist is that her father, who is Overseer Hank, he's played by Kyle MacLachlan, he has been kidnapped by a group of raiders. They gain access to their vault. I won't tell you the details, you'll have to watch the show to find that out. They kidnap him and she's like, right, I'm going out there, I have to get him back. And we're following her journey through the wasteland. Her new experiences, her meeting all these people. At the same time, you could say there's one other person we are focused on quite a lot. I mean, I suppose two people you could say. This person is played by Aaron Moten. His name is Maximus. He is among the Brotherhood of Steel, as it's called. This is sort of, let's call it, religious, sort of slightly fanatical group. They gather all the important technology in the world and they use it to sort of, let's say, police everyone to sort of try and better society and make sure that injustice is being dealt with, etc. They've got these, if you've ever seen an image of a guy or the person in Fallout with a sort of cool, huge armour, that's the Brotherhood of Steel. So they've got this power armour, as it's called. As you can imagine, it's really good for combat. So we follow him along as well. He's striving to be one of the guys in the power armor. So he's with the Brotherhood of Steel, and he sort of has to show his worth, and he becomes a squire to one of the knights in the power armor, and so he goes on a journey with him. And the third person we're focused on is played by Walton Goggins, obviously very popular actor. Even among Amazon Prime Video, he's also in the Invincible TV show, which is quite funny. So you've got two Amazon TV shows that he's currently in. He plays the Ghoul. You will immediately, if you've seen images, the trailers, whatever, you'll immediately tell it's a guy whose face looks very skeletal and he's got just a hole where the nose would be. There is an explanation for why he looks like that. You'll have to watch the show to find out. If you're familiar with the games, you know why he looks like that. So we follow him along. He's a sort of mercenary, let's call it, and a bounty hunter, and yeah, he's on a certain mission himself, connected to a bounty, as you can imagine. So that is the basic gist of it. We're mainly following along Lucy, but also these two other characters through the wasteland, seeing experiences, meeting new people, being confronted with new situations, what has happened in this world, what's happened technologically, societally, all these kind of things. And it's just really fascinating. So you've got a lot of really cool scientific things here. The look of Fallout is really cool. I've always liked it. It's sort of like this sort of nuclear family, sort of this sort of retro 50s, 60s style, just how everything looks, but it's still very, very technological. So I just like the feel and aesthetic of it all. It's really cool. Like I said, it's got this really absurd, quirky humor. So you've got a lot of situations where something just really mental happens and you just go along with it, because that's what it's like in the games as well. It's like, don't take anything too seriously. There's a lot of fun to be had here if you're open for this. The stuff that goes on in the vaults, these people are very oblivious. So Lucy herself, when she goes out into the world, she thinks everyone's nice just like her and they're all working together and everyone will try and help her, and she finds out rather quickly that's not the case. And she has to try and, make her way through all these situations, these new situations for her. At the same time, people on the surface, you've got people with radiation, of course, you've got stuff going on like mutations, not just with people, but with animals as well. Then all of society, of course, completely broke down, and what does that look like? How was that rebuilt? So you've got a lot of really cool things here. The story itself is a lot of fun. It's written really well. It even seems a bit like Fallout, where you can really build your character as you want. Lucy herself feels like someone who's got a lot of points in luck, and because she seems to be very lucky. Also, at the same time, she's quite good at trying to convince people. So she's got sort of that characteristic of just being a very sympathetic person, at least to others in the story. You get some people who rather easily want to help her, which is not something that is really always the case in the wasteland. You get a lot of people like raiders, who want to steal your stuff, absolutely. But it's really well written, it's a lot of fun. It's only 8 episodes long. I think they could have added at least a couple of episodes, because it feels like we are rushing through things quite a lot. But I mean, I get restrictive budgets. Then again, I mean, the show looks amazing, so it definitely wasn't cheap, so obviously they had to shorten the runtime. But still, it feels like, we could have taken some more time in various areas to explore, because that's one of the most fun things about Fallout. You could just quickly do the story and you're done very easily and in a really short period of time, but the more you explore, you discover things that, you know, turn out to be massively interesting and consume so much time, and you could absolutely miss them. And here it feels the same, that there's a lot of things that we're sort of aware of, but we don't actually see, so there's a lot to explore. I mean, as far as I can tell, it's been a huge success, a lot of good reviews coming in, so hopefully we're going to see a continuation. Like I say, I love the idea of this Fallout world, the design of it, the quirkiness, the humour, so I do hope that they all continue watching it. So it's definitely a very high recommendation from me if you've got Amazon Prime Video. That will be all from me today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It is the best way to support this channel, as we are on YouTube. You know, they want you to do these things, so that's why I'm asking. I'm sorry if it gets on your nerves. Leave a comment down below about anything Fallout related, you know, the show, if you've seen it, the games, if you've got a favourite game, you know, how did you feel the comparison was. I think, like I say, it's a very, very good portrayal of it. Glad they went for this and not tried to do maybe a film or so. A long format with the show is definitely the right way to go. But anyway, anything you want to say, put it down in the comments below. I'll thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one on Flying Wiener. Take care, bye.